know that moment when someone says something that completely ruins your day? What if I told you that feeling only lasts 90 seconds unless you keep replaying it in your mind? Here's the truth. Anger is a choice. Neurologically, the chemicals that trigger anger naturally exit your body in about 90 seconds. But we keep anger alive by rehearsing the story, imagining comebacks, and replaying the event. It's like a fire alarm going off because of burnt toast, and instead of opening a window, you keep cooking more toast. Next time someone cuts you off in traffic, notice this. Your body floods with stress hormones. That's the 90 seconds. Then your mind jumps in. What an idiot! Suddenly, you're still angry 20 minutes later. When you understand this 90-second rule, you realize you have a choice point. You can let the chemicals leave naturally, or you can feed the fire. People who stay calm no matter what, they're not superhuman. They've just mastered this principle. Chapter 1. The Button Pusher. Illusion. We often say, "They pushed my buttons," as if someone else has remote control over us. But no one can press buttons you don't give them. Triggers exist because of unhealed wounds or value violations from your past. When someone sets you off, they're showing where you still need healing. Your coworker makes a sarcastic comment, the one that always sets you off. Instead of reacting automatically, pause and ask, what is this really about? Maybe it reminds you of a critical parent. Suddenly, your coworker isn't pushing buttons, they're revealing them. When you stop being a remote control, you become the operator of your own emotions. Nobody can make you feel anything except you. Think of your biggest trigger person. What they trigger has nothing to do with them, and everything to do with your past patterns. Chapter 2. The Hidden Emotion. Under anger, here's something that might surprise you. What you call anger isn't really anger. Anger is like a security guard. It shows up to protect deeper feelings like hurt, fear, or shame. Someone criticizes you and you feel angry, but what's really happening is hurt that they don't see your value. Anger feels safer than vulnerability, so it steps forward as a spokesperson. Your partner forgets your anniversary and you explode. But underneath is hurt. Do I not matter to you? Address the hurt, not just the anger. And a real shift happens. I felt forgotten elicits a different response than you never remember anything. When you learn to identify the true emotion, you can respond effectively. Reflect on your last anger episode. What vulnerable emotion was underneath? Chapter 3. The Choice Point. Between every trigger and your reaction, there's a space, a tiny pause. In that space lies freedom. Most people don't even notice it exists. Viktor Frankl discovered this principle in a Nazi concentration camp. No matter the circumstance, you always have the freedom to choose your response. A trigger hits, your body floods with chemicals. But before you react, there's a micro moment of choice. Ask yourself, what response will I be proud of tomorrow? That question activates your choice point, your emotional superpower. It's the difference between being a pinball bouncing around life or the player controlling the game. Notice someone who never seems rattled. They've mastered this space. You can too. Chapter 4. The Observer. Self. What if you could watch your emotions like weather patterns instead of being swept away? Inside you is an observer, a part of you that notices emotions without becoming them. Instead of, this person is an idiot, say, I'm having the thought that this person is an idiot. Your teenager rolls their eyes. Instead of reacting, observe, I notice irritation rising. From this space, you can choose a helpful response. The observer self gives emotional immunity. You can experience emotions without being controlled by them. Think back to a moment when you stayed calm in chaos. That was your observer self. Now, you can activate it intentionally. Chapter 5. The Reframe Revolution. What if difficult people aren't obstacles, but emotional trainers? Every challenging person shows exactly where you need to grow. Critical boss builds your resilience. Passive-aggressive neighbor develops your boundary skills. Just like a physical trainer challenges your muscles, emotional trainers strengthen your mental muscles. Next time your micromanaging boss sends their 15th email, instead of frustration, think, they're helping me practice staying calm under pressure. Suddenly, interactions aren't personal attacks, they're training sessions. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to level up emotionally. Chapter 6. The Boundary. Blueprint. Boundaries aren't walls. They're gates with you as the gatekeeper. Protect your energy without isolating yourself. Healthy boundaries let good in, harmful out. Friend yells, I can't talk while you're yelling. Let's discuss calmly. Complaining friend can listen for 5 minutes, then let's brainstorm solutions. Boundaries protect your emotional capacity, letting you help without burning out. Think of someone who drains your energy. What boundary could protect your peace? Chapter 7. The Timeout Protocol. There's a difference between strategic retreat and running away. Removing yourself temporarily from a triggering situation isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Your nervous system resets. Your brain comes back online. Example: spouse brings up a sensitive topic after work. Instead of snapping, "Not now. Try. This conversation is important, but I'm not in the right space. Can we talk after dinner?" Timeouts prevent damage that takes weeks to repair. A 5-minute pause can save hours of regret. Chapter 8. The Trigger Map Method. Don't navigate life blindly. Map your emotional landmines. Triggers follow patterns. People who remind you of critical parents. Situations that echo rejection. Words that reopen old wounds. When you map triggers, you stop being surprised by your reactions. Keep a journal for 1 week. Who, what, and why you were triggered. Pattern recognition. Emotional intelligence in action. Chapter 9. Compassionate distance. You can care without carrying someone's stress. Maintain emotional boundaries. Stay compassionate. I see your struggle. I care. How can I help without absorbing your stress? Support without being consumed. Preserve your long-term capacity to help. Think of someone whose drama consumes you. How could you care without taking it on? Chapter 10. The Story. Stopper. Reality isn't what happens. It's the story you tell yourself about what happens. Change your story. Change your emotional experience. Example: boss emails. Curtly, Story 1. They hate me. Anxiety. Story 2. They're busy, want to improve my work quickly. Curiosity. Same situation, completely different emotion. Become the editor of your inner narrative. Integration and practice. Knowledge is useless without practice. Pick one technique this week. Observer Self 90-second rule. Trigger mapping. Every time you choose a new response, your brain rewires. Small, consistent changes. Massive long-term transformation. The person who never gets rattled, they just practiced until it became automatic. Now, you can too. Think about who you'll be when difficult people no longer control your peace. That person already exists. You just need to practice becoming them. Hit like, share, subscribe, and tell me in the comments what triggers you most.